Good morning. It's Friday, the 28th of December, 2012. Here's all the news in Panama that's worth talking about today. Okay, I'm going to spend some time on this Financial Pacific thing. It broke in the news a couple of days ago. The La Prensa newspaper got their hands on the official sworn statements that had been made by a woman named Maite Pellegrini. She has been accused of being the one responsible for the loss of, fraud, loss of money from Financial Pacific. Financial Pacific is a brokerage house. When the reporting first started, the amount of money that was lost was $7 million. Now it's up to $14 million. And the people that are the owners of Financial Pacific were the ones that filed the complaint against her. Now, she says that, hey, listen, I'm just a low-ranking employee and I don't have the authority to move these funds around. And they're basically, she's saying she's a scapegoat. And then the investigation started. There's an organization called the Superintendencia de Mercado de Valores, which is basically like the SEC. It's the organization, the superintendent that keeps track of the stock market, and it's a government organization, and they're responsible for making things that all of these things are on the up and up. Well, they started an investigation and they ordered what they called the reorganization of Financial Pacific, and they put their own person in charge who was supposed to go in and reorganize basically they did that to protect the other investors, to make sure that nobody was going to get ripped off and that the money wasn't going to go away, and that basically they took it over to make sure that nothing fishy was going on. Well, then the Supreme Court, specifically Supreme Court Justice Moncada Luna, who was appointed by Ricardo Martinelli, stepped in and they stopped the superintendent of the stock market from doing their reorganization. They basically shut it down and said, all right, well, you're not doing that. And then everything, obviously the investigation took on more and more interest from there. Now, according to the statement being made by this Maite Pellegrini woman and what the stuff that was being run by La Prensa all week, she has been saying that Ricardo Martinelli was involved in the purchase of shares of the Petequilla Minerals gold mining company, and that they had set up a secret account and they were using the insider information to manipulate the share price, and they were buying the shares low, and then when the price goes up after the government approved the mining operation and Petequilla went into operation, then they sold it high and made 600% on their money or something, buying it 22 cents and selling it at 113. Now, yesterday something funny happened. The Attorney General came out and said, well, we went in and we asked Maite Pellegrini some additional questions, and she says that she can't prove it, that it was all basically just rumors. And then President Martinelli came out and slammed the La Prensa newspaper, saying that they were manipulating information, that it was basically just hallway rumors around the water fountain, and that it was all crap. And interestingly enough, this is the Attorney General who came out and he actively defended Martinelli on this. And then he turned around and says, oh, and by the way, the public ministry can't investigate the president of the country anyway, because that's not within our rights under the Constitution to do that. He's the president, so he has to be investigated by, and I believe it's the National Assembly who can investigate the president in like an impeachment process. The newly appointed Attorney General, who's Ana Belfon, also came out today in the news and said she's not going to investigate Martinelli because she can't. She's the new Attorney General. She's been sworn in and she's taken over. Well, she doesn't have any legal authority to investigate Martinelli. So, and also, of course, the National Assembly is controlled by the Cambio Democrático and politicians that are loyal to Martinelli. So, even if Martinelli did anything with Petequilla and Financial Pacific, nobody in Panama is going to investigate squat. He's got 5 judges on the Supreme Court. He owns the National Assembly. And there's and things like the superintendencia of the stock market, they don't have the the power. If they don't have the backing of the executive branch, they can't just go in and willy-nilly do stuff. Nobody's going to investigate squat. Now, this is already, the people in Canada, because the Petaquilla is traded on the TSX in Toronto, the Toronto Stock Exchange. I called them yesterday, and I was told by their public relations person that that if there's anything that needs to be investigated, then it will be there. There are investigatory people who would do that. So there probably will end up being some kind of investigation coming out of Canada. But anyway, the reason I took 5 or 6 minutes on that, because that is the biggest story that's going on in Panama. Everybody's talking about it. Every news agency, every newspaper, television, radio, it's their lead story, and it's what they're talking about. So it was worth just covering that and getting you all up to speed on what's going on today. And again, it will continue to evolve. Did Martinelli have insider information? Of course he did. Did he get involved in the company and buy shares in the stock and then use that insider information to make money? Who knows? And is anybody going to investigate in Panama? No, it ain't going to happen. Anyway, it's all just business as usual. Mining will continue. And hey, speaking of which, economic news. Popping over to Telemetro, Frank de Lima, the Minister of Economy and Finance, came out and said, now that we're getting to the end of 2012, that the economy of Panama will have grown by 11% this year. 11%. Best in Latin America. Nobody else is anywhere even close to that. And of course, they're predicting growth of 8.5% for 2013. And of course, it'll come in higher than that. This year, they predicted like 7. I said, no, it's going to be bigger. It'll be more than 10. And of course, it's 11. Now, with this same breath, when they predicted it's going to be 11, they said it's 11 this year. Well, it's going to be 8.5 next year. No, it'll be higher than that. The government of Panama, in the 5 years of the Martinelli administration, will have spent $14 billion of public money on projects, like the $5.25 billion to expand the Panama Canal. The Metro subway system is a $1.8 billion project. And then there's foreign direct investment, like the new copper mine that's going to be built and over the next 5 years or so. And that is a $6 billion project. So the numbers in Panama are really big. The economy keeps growing. And I still say that the biggest problem that Panama is going to have is a lack of manpower to continue doing the jobs that need to be done. Like, one of the jobs that needs to be done is they need to fix the fiber optic line that was broken yesterday when a work crew, this is from the Dia Dia, when a work crew who was building the new subway system out by Los Andes cut through a fiber optic line owned by Cable and Wireless. And of course, this runs their cell phone service, their fixed phone service, and internet. And everybody basically out past the Los Andes shopping center is affected. Santa Librada, Cerro Batea, Mia Ocho, Torrijos Carter, Roberto Duran, Los Andes, Gonzanillo, Alcalde Diaz, Las Cumbres, Camboa, Calzada Larga, San Miguelito, La Cabima, basically everybody out that way. That was their main tube of bringing information for Cable and Wireless out of the city. So they are now working to repair that. Let's hope they've got people that can do it. Speaking of people that can do things, the police are doing an operation in Avenida B, Avenue in the Santa Ana area. Apparently, this young girl was walking down the street, and there were early in the morning, I guess this morning, and there was a bunch of guys hanging out in a doorway, and apparently 7 guys grabbed her, dragged her up to an apartment, and gang raped her. So they are now, they went in and arrested the guy who was the owner of the apartment. They're now looking for the other rapists. So bad news there. And somebody else who got some bad news was this Spanish businessman who was arrested in Spain, and he was going to run away to Panama to hide. His name is Miguel Angel Flores. He's the guy who's been implicated. There was a tragedy not too long ago, in which five young teenagers were killed. Let me see, that was on, oh hell, I'm not sure what day it was. They had it was Halloween. And it was a thing where there was a collapse and a stampede, and there was a failure of a large event. There was like 16,000 people at this event, and five people got killed in this tragedy. So this is the guy who's going to be held responsible for this, and he was going to run away to Panama. Well, they caught him before he got away, so he is in cuffs. But Panama made news there just because he was going to come here. Okay, that's it. Friday, the 28th of December. Have a great weekend. Let me see, 28, 29, 30. Yeah, I'll probably end up doing at least one more of these before New Year's. That's it. I'm out. I'm done. Have a great day. See you.